Hello, yes, Stuart here, the unrepentant atheist. I was talking to a friend a few days ago on the phone, and he told me about some, I don't know, 6 meter long skeleton that had been found somewhere in Asia. And this was proof that um, a long time ago, before humans evolved, there was a giant primate walking the earth. Well, of course, now I should say to you that this friend is a full-blown conspiracy theorist, so naturally I was incredibly skeptical, but I would have been skeptical if anybody had given me this information, because apart from anything else, if it was true, I would think we would all know about it from the news, etc. I asked him to send me a link so that I could obviously study the story, and he said to me, "Oh, like I'm a I don't know, a paleontologist or somebody that can actually analyze and evaluate the footage of the skeleton." And I said, "No, that's not the reason." I said, "Just send me the link so that I can confirm the story by some means and see all the details." So anyway, to be fair to him, he did send me the link. And here it is. Now, it's KBTV. It's obviously a news report. It's only 40 odd seconds long and it's got subtitles. So let's just have a listen to it.
เมื่อไม่นานมานี้ทางจังหวัดกระบี่ได้ออกมาแถลงการอย่างเป็นทางการว่าในบริเวณถ้ำเขาขนาบน้ำได้ค้นพบโครงกระดูกขนาดยักษ์ของมนุษย์และงูซึ่งในขณะนี้ได้มอบหมายให้ทางคณะโบราณคดีเป็นผู้นำในการสำรวจและขุดค้น
We are now at Khao Khao Nam Nam caves, and we found like a huge and complete skeleton of a primate with a huge reptile skeleton on the side. The height of the primate is estimated to be 6.5 meters. According to the skull and the tools, it might be a male. He is lying in a natural position, with his hand clasping.
Okay, so let's just stop there. All right, okay. I did some research. Actually, I got one or two red herrings at first because I think I typed into Google, I don't know, giant human skeleton or, giant primate skeleton. And it seems that, well, first of all, there was some evidence in ancient China or before that, prehistoric China, that there were people my height, 1.8 meters tall, which in those days actually was very, very tall. Most people much smaller than that. And of course, in China, I think the average height for a male is about 5.5 or something like that. So that was the first sort of red herring, which happens to be true, it seems. And then there was another red herring I found that it's believed, I haven't confirmed this, but it's believed that there was a 3 meter tall, very large primate at some point in the last, I don't know, 2 million years or something, which went extinct. I'm not certain about that, but I particularly remember my friend saying it was 6 meters or something. And then I saw this news report. I chased it up and then I kept going through, and I actually found an article on Reuters, a fact-checking article, which had details of this footage. And it turns out that what it actually is, that's not a genuine skeleton that's been discovered. That is a work of art by a Taiwanese sculptor or something like that. I got all the details from Reuters, and this has been passed around as fake news. I think this video, obviously, I don't speak the language, but we saw subtitles. Anybody could take a news. It might well be that the news report is genuinely on this being about a work of art, but for the Western audience who don't speak that language, they may well have put subtitles in to make it look like, and then obviously a voiceover saying, "Oh, we found this, this giant primate, etc." And the whole thing is basically just fake news. So, okay, I'm going to stop there, and then I'm going to go to a large screen so I can discuss more of this. Yeah, okay, so coming back to this story about the 6 meter primate. Okay, I must admit, when I did see the picture of it, I thought, oh, those bones look like they're in remarkably good condition. Okay, yeah, so the whole thing was just an artwork, and apparently it's been going around social media since 2017. And the reason that my friend knows about it is because his ex-girlfriend apparently forwarded him this link. He looked at it, was impressed with it, and of course he told me about it. He told me about it and sent it to me. But that's where the buck stops, because I actually checked it out. Yeah, I'm not a fool when it comes to claims which sound a bit fanciful. I check things out, and because he sent it to me, and because I know he's a conspiracy theorist, and I've just about given up with him because he's a lost cause, frankly. But he did send this to me, and I said, I'll check it out. So yeah, I did check it out. I found Reuters. I sent to him the Reuters link. I said, I think you're wrong. I don't think this is genuine. According to Reuters, and I've done a bit of background confirmation research on it as well. First of all, it's not China, yeah, because he'd said China. No, it's Thailand, and it's a Taiwanese artist. And I gave him all the information. I sent him the Reuters link. Now, usually when I critique or evaluate his claims, for example, on the Antarctic Treaty, things like that, or the logo that the UN used, that it's like a flat Earth logo. When he like flat Earth representation, when he gives me information like this, I usually will check it out, and then I will send him the results of my investigation, thorough investigation. And I overturn virtually every single one of his claims every single time. He never responds at all. He never acknowledges it, nothing. And then he'll come back to the same old thing 6 months later and say, oh, do you know what the UN used? It's like he can't remember that he's told me. Okay, he's 66 years old. But, I mean, in everything else, he's actually quite sharp. But when it comes to conspiracy theories and thinking of that type, I can't believe how uncritical he is and how readily he accepts information of that type. So yeah, I sent him all the information. And to my amazed surprise, when I spoke to him on the phone the next day, because we talk about mainly issues going on with our lives, mostly, but occasionally the conspiracy chat. Now and again we'll start, and let me not talk about that. He said to me, I didn't raise the topic of the giant primate. I wasn't going to say anything about it. As far as I was concerned, I'd sent him the rebuttal to the story, and nothing really more needed to be said. He actually brought it up, and he said, oh yes, I can't, and he said his ex-girlfriend picked it up and sent it on to him, and he'd sent it on to me. And he admitted he'd also, as a result of me showing him the Reuters article, he'd done a little bit of research, and he realized it was foolish. He'd looked back at the video, and he works in dental technology, and he knows, he's done human anatomy, and he realized from looking at the skeleton that this was just impossible. Well, I don't know why he didn't realize that in the first place. Why didn't he engage his brain the first time when he saw this, and save me having to investigate it for him? He admitted the whole thing's a hoax, and his girlfriend had passed this on. He laughed about it. But really, it's not good, is it? It's not good at all that he, who is in a kind of scientific subject, is so easily taken in, and he's just forwarding me on this kind of news. I think that it's really, really poor. So anyway, what I did, I actually replied to him, giving him a bit of a telling off. And I'll tell you what I said to him, because I'm annoyed that he wasted my time like that. Yeah, so I said, look, I said, your girlfriend sent the skeleton story to you without checking, and you sent it to me without checking. How many of these stories do you accept at face value? And how many false beliefs do you think you and your ex-girlfriend must have compared with me, since you evidently do not check these stories before forwarding? I always check every story which makes a startling claim. Glad that you followed up my research and concluded this is a fake story. Do that in future, please, as it is a waste of my time to get these stories and then have to spend time checking if they are true. So there we are. I've given him a bit of a telling off there, which he deserves. And I hope in future he won't come to me with these tales without first doing due diligence, because if he mentions them to me, I'll want to see the evidence, and then I'll go and check it out. And no doubt, most of the time I'll find out that it's a fake story. There's something wrong with the story. And he sent me in the past, I mean, okay, he's a COVID conspiracist. He sent me this video purportedly by a doctor of medicine who is specialist in immunology. And he said, oh, she's saying that, she's been told to keep quiet and, et cetera, and this is why, the RNA, et cetera, and humans are going to start dying off from the vaccine by the million in 2023. Yeah, 2023 came and went, and I don't see people dying off by the million. All the people I know that took the vaccine, they're still alive and they're doing fine. So it's not really happening, is it? Oh, well, got the calculation slightly wrong. It's going to be 2025. Oh, yeah. So you keep, putting it back year after year. And I mean, he's 66. I mean, by the time he'll be like 85 and on his deathbed and say, oh yeah, they've got it. They've got the calculation honed now to the exact year. And apparently it's going to be like, 20, I don't know, 2044 or something like that. He'll keep on deferring it till he's finally dead, and then won't have to listen to any of this nonsense anymore. Well, of course, I might be dead by then anyway, but it would be nice to see him come to his senses before he dies. Yeah. So the point is that he doesn't check up his sources. He doesn't check his sources. He doesn't check his stories. And that video he sent me on the so-called immunologist. When I started Googling her around and trying to find out who she is, I mean, it gave her name. Nothing on ResearchGate, nothing on Google. Can't find that name relating to any doctor, any researcher whatsoever. And look, I mean, I know students who are doing PhDs, and they're not even sort of like fully fledged academics. They've submitted one or two articles to journals. And I can find them on ResearchGate. I can find their names, where they studied, etc. And yet this video, I can't find this person absolutely anywhere. So I did say this to him. I said, look, in future, check people out. If somebody is claiming to be a PhD or whatever, then their name will be out there. Go and check it. Verify that they are who they say that they are. Okay, but moving on to a wider issue of the fact that people do this, and it can be quite trivial. For example, I mean, I know somebody who readily accepts claims such as, I don't know, garlic has been reported to reduce the chances of dementia by, I'm just giving an example here, this might not be real, by 20% or 30%, or will extend the life by, or will minimize chances of catching an infection. I know somebody who will see a headline like that without even reading it, and then go out and stock up on garlic without even actually checking it out to see whether it's true or anything like, where's the research come from? Is this reflected across all the literature, or is it just an isolated study, or what? Because it's quite a big deal to go out there and buy a load of garlic, for example. And yeah, so people readily accept these claims. And I've been on before talking about things like ancient aliens and building the pyramids and all this thing. We live in a world now where there's so much information out there, and it amazes me that when it's a startling claim, when it's a big claim, for example, like Atlanta was real, there was an ancient civilization that was buried under the water, and it was far in advance of anything we've got now, or something like that. It was a big claim like that. Somebody's read something, or they've seen a program, and to them it's like a fact, it's real. And then they pass it on, and other people think it's real as well. What kind of a world do we live in where people have got so many claims in their heads which they think are actually facts, and they haven't been confirmed, they haven't been checked out? Well, I don't know. I mean, luckily, a lot of the people that I know, well, no, not a lot of the people that I know. No, sorry, let me take that back. Most of the people that I know in my own personal life accept claims like this without questioning them. No, that's the truth. My son's an exception. My son is an exception. I'm proud to say I brought him up. I brought him up a critical thinker. He's an atheist, and he works in academia. And no, I'm proud to say he's one of the few people in my actually life that I talk to that doesn't, that when he reads something like this, he doesn't readily accept it. He will question it and go and do the research and try and find out. And the department that he works in, he often forwards me copies of emails that have been sent to heads of department working in science departments like physics, computational mechanics, and all sorts of stuff like that. Conspiracy theorists and laymen, or people who know hardly anything, collating various YouTube videos. And these serious academics are getting stuff like that. And, whole dossiers and files of, the CIA were involved in the Havana project or whatever it was. And, that's why people now have got tinnitus and all sorts of stuff. Reams and reams of it are being sent to, hoping that somebody out there in the real world is actually going to take this seriously. And you know what they're doing? They're just laughing their heads off. They're just laughing their heads off. It's not serious at all. Okay. Well, that's the world we live in. We live in a world where people just accept claims, where, everyday people in the street have got a lot of beliefs which have not been properly confirmed, but they believe that they're actually factual. And I suppose that in a way I see it as my job when I encounter that kind of thing is to counter it and try and offer another perspective, a rational perspective, like, are you sure this has been properly checked out? Has it been confirmed? And in the case of ancient aliens, oh yes, they're academics, they are. They're Egyptologists. Go and watch one of the episodes. Yeah, well, I did watch one of the episodes. I watched Ancient Aliens. No, they're not academics, they're journalists. I found that one of them had been, he'd done the first year of an archaeology course, dropped out and gone into journalism. No, they're not academics. Why would you think that? Well, I did the research and I confirmed on Ancient Aliens, they're not proper academics. They're not Egyptologists. And to be fair, they're quite clever the way they frame it all in the program, because they're kind of suggesting this, maybe this is the case, but they're not stating it and affirming it. But they put it in such a way that people watching it think, oh, that's true. Aliens do exist. Oh my God. Oh, well, I'll keep on fighting though. I will keep on trying to bring sense where it's needed, bring critical thinking where it's needed, bring rationality where people are not evaluating, where people are evaluating things and they're coming to claims already with confirmation bias to the extent that they're just not doing the research and confirming whether these claims are actually true. Okay, so I hope obviously that my friend, that's the first thing in 10 years since he told me that the moon landings were a hoax. That's the first time that he has actually admitted that something that he's told me is actually wrong, and he admitted it and he said, yes, that is a hoax. Who knows? Maybe this is the start of something big for him. Maybe this is the turning back from the abyss of unreason, of irrational thinking. Okay, well, I hope it is, and hope you enjoyed that story, which was obviously a complete fake. So, goodbye for now.